Happy 4th of July. I'm KHU11 meteorologist Kim Castro, still keeping a very close eye on Beryl. Let me show you what it's doing now and what we're expecting it to do throughout the day. Right now, as of the 7 o'clock advisory, still a major Category 3 hurricane, 120 miles an hour sustained, passing through the Cayman Islands. And as it continues into the northern side of the Caribbean, it is expected to begin to weaken. However, we have to watch where it tracks closely. If it takes aim at the Yucatan on the north side, notice it wouldn't have a whole lot of land interaction and not as much disruption as if it continues to take a southerly track. So we'll have to see where it makes that next landfall. Right now, we're watching it somewhere between Tulum to Cancun. Still a long ways away from the Texas coastline, 1,000 miles away. So 3 or 4th of July festivities, don't forget to keep up with the forecast at least once a day. We'll be watching for weakening with Beryl, not only because of land interactions, but because of continued wind shear interaction too. Notice as it gets to the Gulf, if it continues on a southerly track, it would encounter quite a bit of wind shear. If it shifts in latitude just a little bit further north, not as much disruption. So again, watching it step by step is going to be very important to tracking its impacts and its location. This is the latest forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. So we've got a weakening trend as we head into the later afternoon hours, expected to become a Cat 2 hurricane and then eventually a Cat 1 before making landfall somewhere between Cozumel to maybe as far north as Cancun. The timestamp for that would be very early Friday morning, so more likely overnight Thursday into Friday. Passing through the Yucatan, weakening into a tropical storm, and then again weakening until it gets to the northern side of the Gulf, where it's expected to gain some momentum again and become a Category 1 hurricane before making its final landfall. Notice as we get into the latter part of the forecast, the cone of uncertainty, which by the way is only accurate 2/3 of the time, meaning 1/3 of the time the landfall could be outside of the cone. Regardless, it widens quite a bit because there's still a lot of uncertainty regarding which path Beryl will take. Will it go a little bit further north, a little bit further south? Will it weaken as we expect it to, or will it hold on to some of its strength? Watching it day by day is going to be very important. But there is an opening that is very wide because of the upper level steering currents. So while high pressure blocks systems from moving farther north into the Gulf, high pressure splits as we head into the weekend, and next week we've got this opening. So there's a bigger path for Beryl to take. There's quite a few different steering directions it could take, which is why model plots are pretty split. There is a big range, and at this point the plots are pretty evenly split. You'll notice there's a little bit more concentration towards South Texas, so near Brownsville, but there's still quite a few of those plots that take it a little bit further up the Texas coastline. So rain chances look high, at least for the west side of southeast Texas. So anywhere between 6 to 9 inches is what the American model is putting out. Notice this would be Beryl moisture. 6 to 9 inches expected for South Texas into the west side. Now, take this as an idea because these totals could shift further east on top of Houston, or they could shift further west out of southeast Texas. But this is the general idea that we'll be watching for throughout the weekend, which is why paying attention to Beryl's specifics is going to be key. But that's a possibility. Increased rainfall as we head into next week, increased rip current risk, high tides, things of that sort. So just make sure you keep up with our updates. We'll have live stream updates throughout the afternoon. We'll also post any updates that we see come in throughout our social media pages. You can find me on X or Twitter. On Instagram, by the way, I post bilingual forecasts there. I'm going to post one today as well, and you can catch any updates on Facebook too.